should say. So I have decided to experiment with eating for your blood type. So in doing my research, I have seen about mixed reviews on this whole diet and lifestyle. There are some doctors that say it's a complete hoax. There are other doctors, like the Dr. Diamo, who developed this way of eating for your blood type, that do feel like there is validity in it, and that human beings, though we are the same species, there are different adaptations within species that some need different, slightly different things than others. In this case, when it comes to eating for your blood type, it is that there are certain foods, herbs, and grains and things that agree with some blood types and how they digest and break down food and information from food than others due to evolution. So I decided to try it for myself and see if it works, or really to more so see if I find it helpful. So, one of the biggest things with eating for your blood type is you want to eat foods that cause the least amount of inflammation in your body. There are many, including healers like Dr. Sebi, Queen Afua, and others, who feel that there are certain foods that cause more or less inflammation in our body, and that the root of many, if not all, disease is inflammation in the body. Our body's not being able to digest, process, break certain things down, or even properly remove them from our body. So I am thinking that if I experiment with this diet, I want to know, will I experience more or less inflammation in my body, or will it stay the same? So I am going to think about how to measure this. I'm going to try to think about how to measure this, but I have decided that I'm going to give this diet a try, a good, valiant try. I can't promise that I'll be perfect every single day, but I am going to give this a valiant, concerted, genuine try for 6 weeks and document how I feel. What I'm thinking is that I will do update videos like this once a week to see how I'm feeling. Unfortunately, I don't own a scale, so I won't be able to tell if I have gained or lost any weight, but I am interested in seeing if I maintain or lose any inches in my body. So that will be one way that I will be determining what is going on with this, is how my clothes fit and feel. Is there a change to them or is there none? The other thing that I am also going to be looking out for as a key performance indicator is, how am I feeling? Do I feel roughly the same? Do I feel like I have more energy? So I'm going to be looking at those things. The other things, when it comes to my day to day life, I'm going to try to keep those variables as similar as possible. So, some of those variables that are the same for me is that I am a fairly fit and active person. So I'm going to continue my usual exercise and fitness routine. That will stay the same, that will not change. The other thing is my sleep schedule. I am going to work to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night. I'll say 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So those variables we will keep actually the same. So we'll make them standards. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and my fitness and exercise routine. Those things will stay standard. The main other thing that is just changing really is the foods that I am eating. So there is a chart, and I have decided that I'm going to work off of the one from Dr. Diamo. If you do research, you will find that there are a bunch of different charts, and sometimes they don't all say the same things. So I'm going to go from the source and use his chart as far as eating foods that are either beneficial or neutral. I'm really going to focus on eating more of the foods that he says are beneficial for my blood type. And I will eat neutral foods as well, but I'm really going to be working towards trying to eat more of the foods that are deemed as beneficial for my blood type. And the foods that it says to avoid, so avoid doesn't mean you can never have them, but it means what it means. Try to avoid them as much as possible. And that's what I am going to do. So, this should be a cool journey. I love a good experiment and documenting things. So, if you're fascinated by this and you're interested in coming along for the ride and seeing how it works for me, then stay tuned. Making a just a hodgepodge of this is ground lean beef, grass fed, pasture raised, organic, yada yada. But tons of veggies. There's tomatoes in here. There is okra. We have some kale, bell peppers, onions, garlic, and some herbs and seasonings that are on my either neutral or beneficial list for my blood type. So this is not a recipe. I literally just threw a bunch of things together. But I think it's going to be tasty. So I could either have it as a stew like this alone, or I could have this over rice. Good morning. Another day of this challenge. So, oof, what a week. What a week. I think I'm finally getting back on Eastern Standard Time, and you'll be able to stop hearing me talk about this. So, what I'm going to do is for breakfast today, I'm going to have just a smoothie. So, I'll show you what I put in my smoothie. I also got a new milk maker. Yay! So I'm gonna be making some walnut milk because walnuts are beneficial for blood type O's. So it's my first time using it, so I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes and if it comes out good. All right, so today's smoothie has cherries, raspberries. There might be blackberries in this, which I'm supposed to avoid, but it's a blend. I have to double check, but it definitely has cherries, raspberries, and I think blueberries in it. And then there's a banana and pineapple, sea moss, and my homemade walnut milk that I made earlier in the week. Well, I guess technically last week now, that I used as the liquid to bring it all together. So, cheers! Good as always. Look at this. It's a cheeseburger salad. Only thing is, there's no pickles in here, which I am really muy triste about because cucumbers are on the avoid list, and that would include pickles because pickles are pickled cucumbers. So there's no pickles. There is some plant based cheese, but this cheese I just used up and I won't be repurchasing for the rest of the time.
The world's biggest asshole. What? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That dude is.
Relationship history. What you are seeing needs to make sense, and that flock of wild pigeons made.
Okay, so I've been having a serious sweet tooth, serious like sweet things craving. So I have been eating fruit, but sometimes you just want a goddamn brownie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some brownies using ingredients that are either beneficial or neutral for blood type O. So here we go. So I'm going to be making plant-based brownies with, I've got sweet potato puree that I made. We've got carob powder, maple syrup. I also, well, I'm trying to decide. I may use maple syrup or I could use agave nectar. It's really just whatever sweetener of choice. But I have this and don't want it to go bad. So I just realized it said that I'm supposed to refrigerate this after opening. Hopefully it's still okay. If not, then we'll just use agave nectar. We've got a little almond flour. And I also need some plant-based milk. So I have some walnut milk. Usually I would use almond milk, but I made this and I need to use it before it goes bad. So hopefully the recipe still comes out tasty. And those are all the ingredients that are needed to make these brownies. Let's see if they taste good, because, you know, they look nice in the pictures, but they might taste terrible. But let's see. We're going to experiment. All right, so here's what it looks like. So it's definitely softer than a traditional brownie, but I'm okay with that because mostly I'm going for brownie taste. So they are kind of soft. They don't necessarily hold the shape. Maybe if you put them in the freezer and freeze them or put them in the refrigerator, they'll firm up some. So I may try that, storing them in there. But it's tasty. It's soft, it's moist, and it tastes good. Also, if you're not big on nuts, you can skip the nuts. I just added walnuts because I like walnuts and they are beneficial for blood type O's. Only thing in this that may not work is the baking powder. Baking powder, I'm pretty sure is corn based. So there is a little bit of corn in this, but I'm not going to stress about it. It's quite tasty, so I'm going to enjoy this. So you can see here we've got a 2-egg omelet over some rye toast that has some plant-based cheese that I'm using up. Once that's used up, I am not going to repurchase it for the rest of this experiment because it has some ingredients in it that I'm supposedly not supposed to eat, but I'm not wasting food because that cheese is expensive. And then we've just got a little simple side salad, which is romaine lettuce, green onions, also known as scallions, and some cherry tomatoes. And the vinaigrette is homemade. It's literally just extra virgin olive oil, apple cider vinegar, Italian seasoning, and a little bit of salt. And this is our post-workout meal. We're about halfway into the experiment. So this is week 3. And so we've got 3 more weeks to go before we have a full and final assessment, and I'll share my thoughts of how I'm doing. But first, I need to clear off this counter because it looks crazy. My place looks like who done it and why. And it's because I haven't really been home all weekend and just been out and about. So For me to focus, I need to clean this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just clear off the counter and clear off these chairs so I can focus and make some food because I'm hungry. Here's today's lunch. We've got a simple salad, romaine lettuce, cherry tomatoes, green onions, also known as scallions, and Kalamata olives. I made my own vinaigrette that is extra virgin olive oil, apple cider vinegar, which is okay. That's the only vinegar that is either neutral or beneficial for blood type O. And there is Italian seasoning, a little bit of ground mustard, and salt. No pepper. That's the vinaigrette recipe. Very simple. And then here we've got a Japanese sweet potato with what is left. This was the last little bit of that shrimp tomato sauce that I ate last week over pasta. And then I also ate again over rice. Now it's over a sweet potato. So, trying to find ways to reuse the leftovers that I have so I'm not wasting any food. And it's gonna be tasty. So that's lunch. People only show you the wins, they don't show you the other things that aren't wins. So, as you can see, this is my burgerdilla. It's probably gonna taste good, but appearance-wise, it missed the mark. It's okay. It's a learning lesson, but this is what we've got. Good morning. So we're changing it up today and making something a little different for breakfast. And we're making amaranth porridge. So amaranth is a grain that is on the neutral list for blood type O. So I had some that I have some amaranth that I need to use up. Okay, you're doing too much. I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. So here's what it's looking like. And I'm going to add a little bit of agave nectar for sweetness. And I will also add some fruit to this because I did go to the market yesterday. But if you like porridges, you may like amaranth. I like porridges, so this works for me. But if you've got textural things, then you probably won't like this. But if you like things like oatmeal, like cream of wheat, farina, some people call it, porridges like that, you probably would like amaranth. It takes on whatever taste and flavor you give it. So you could make amaranth savory too. You can make it a savory porridge. You can make it sweet. It's pretty customizable. Good morning. Oh, today is another scorcher here in New York. It's going to be a high of 98 degrees, but it's going to feel like well over 100, which is just crazy for us this time of the year. Like in June, no, but like in August, like later summer, we definitely have gotten high temps, but this is definitely above average for us. So I'm going to pick up my mommy from the airport. She is here to help me out. I have my last fibroid removal procedure tomorrow, and so she's going to be here to take care of me. And if you're interested in like my fibroid healing journey, I have a whole other playlist if you want to follow along, all the ups, the downs, and what my healing plan looked like. So before I go to get in the car and go to the airport to pick her up, I do want to show you, I had a bunch of eggs to use up, and so I made this frittata. And so it's really just a veggie frittata. There's no cheese in it. And actually, there's not even any milk. I put a little bit of sparkling water in it due to a tip that I got from Fit Men Cook about making the eggs fluffier usually when you cook them. but it just has some veggies like peppers, onions, garlic, and some kale in there as well too. So when she comes, I'm sure she'll be a little hungry because our flight was really early, and we'll have some of that for breakfast, and we can nibble on that throughout the rest of the week. So let's go pick up mommy and we'll go from there. I'll see. Now that she's here, I'm not sure if I will vlog too much more the rest of the day, but you know, the challenge continues. It's pretty easy. I have a routine. I'm in the fold, so it's not as hard to stick to the blood type diet and things like that. I don't even really think about it that much. I just have the items that I know I can eat, and I make food off of it. And I've already talked about on here before how I also make the same things when I have decision fatigue, and that just all right.
Friends. Do you know I don't have much in common with Kevin?
Sure you do. He loves basketball, and so do you.
Ooh. Yeah, he thinks the greatest player of all time is Larry Bird. So you want me to pitch my boys that way he is?
No. He cooked breakfast and oiled my scalp.
Good morning. This is the final week of my 6-week eating for my blood type experiment. So I'm gonna come in and do like a wrap up, just final thoughts to share at the end of the week. But right now it is Monday morning, so I'm gonna go work out at the gym and get my day started. That was good. Okay, time to make some breakfast. And it's nothing atypical from what I've been doing this whole challenge. Some chia seed pudding. I don't know if I have any fruit to go with it. I'll figure that out. And some eggs for some protein.
What if Ned knew he could treat differently?
Otezla is the #1 for
Y'all know I love a bowl. Hold on, let me get the camera right. There we go. So there is smoked basmati rice underneath there, romaine lettuce, cherry tomatoes, green onions, red onions, homemade vinaigrette, and we've got some ground beef here. And I'm thinking about topping it with a little of this parsley pesto I made. Oh my goodness, it is so good. Okay, so it doesn't look pretty, but it is gonna be delicious and nutritious. So I put the ground beef on top, and then this is my parsley pesto. Oh, I think parsley pesto is my new obsession. Forget about cilantro pesto, forget about basil pesto. It is all about this. It's so good. And parsley is highly beneficial for blood type O, so I'm in my bag, but I gotta go because I gotta eat this because it looks so good and I am definitely hungry.
Don't think so. Maybe you know that boy always had 2 sticks. Finna start calling twins. Thanks.
Here's dinner. Kale, roasted sweet potato with my pesto pasta, some tahini, and some Kalamata olives. Bon appetit! Lunch, my leftovers still. So I'm using up the last of the ground meat and the roasted veggies. We've got the smoked basmati rice, and underneath is the kale that I made earlier this week. So I used up now all the ground beef. There's still some basmati rice left, and all the kale is gone, and all the roasted veggies are gone. So over the weekend, I'll have to make some other little quick dishes, and then of course we start again on Sunday when we ingredient prep for the new week. A few more days and this challenge is over. This experiment of just how I'm feeling. But as you can see, I just went to the market to get some re-up on food supplies and things like that. So I exercised earlier, ran to get groceries. Now I'm back. I need to figure out what I'm going to eat and get on with the rest of my day. I can't believe it's almost over. Good morning, good morning. It's the last full day of this 6-week experiment. So we did something a little different for breakfast today. We've got blueberries that are highly beneficial. We've got some cut up nectarines, and then that down there is actually not chia seed pudding. It is amaranth porridge that was made from scratch. So it was made with my homemade almond milk and amaranth and just some cinnamon and a little cloves. And this is my dish. I may actually add some pumpkin seeds and some hemp seeds to this because both pumpkin seeds and hemp seeds are also highly beneficial for blood type O's. But oh my gosh, I wanted to just in summary talk about my experience doing the 6-week eating for my blood type experiment. And I'm going to try not to get long-winded and just talk about it like in summary, because I took you along the journey with me and what I was experiencing. And I think one of the main things that I experienced was I just got to be more aware of foods that I feel did make me feel uncomfortable or were giving me digestive issues that I wasn't aware of. And they may have been slight, right? They may not have been visceral experiences, but they were enough to get my attention. And so the main thing that I took away from this experiment was that the foods recommended for me to eat for my blood type, I didn't feel worse on them at all. And for me, I didn't feel restricted. And this may also be because I used to be vegan for years. So, I'm used to being creative with what I need to. I, toyed around with being alkaline vegan, which is even more restricted. So I think for me, it didn't feel like, well, what can I eat? It just got me to get creative. And one of the things that I kept saying along this journey that really helped me to really be an active participant in my own experiment and to be successful in it in my own right was to find things that I liked and just kind of keep eating those, or keep them in my back pocket as backup meals if I couldn't think of anything else to make. So that helped out a lot, was just finding dishes that I liked that were within the foods that were either highly beneficial or were neutral for my blood type, and just making those like once a week or rotating it like every other week. I would have those meals. That was a game changer. Eating the same thing for breakfast, that was also a game changer. For the most part, I think you saw me eat chia seed pudding, and I would put blueberries, strawberries, pumpkin seeds, and maybe walnuts sometimes. That was my jam. That was my jam, and it made it so much easier for me to be, because I didn't have to think about what am I going to eat for breakfast. I already know what to eat for breakfast. Lunch and dinner, sometimes I would kind of change off, but that was a huge help. Another huge help in me doing the experiment was what I call ingredient prepping. So not meal prepping, but making different ingredient components that you can mix and match different ways to create different kinds of meals. Game changer. Helped out so much, because it was like I would look at the meat list and I'd be like, okay, what proteins are on the list? And this is when I was first getting more familiar with the diet. After a while, I didn't have to refer to the book as much, because I just knew I was more familiar with what was like highly beneficial and not. And so I would be like, okay, I need a protein. Look on the list, make the protein. Okay, I need a vegetable. Okay, which vegetables are on there? Prepare that vegetable. And then sometimes I would do rice, sometimes I did not. I'm at a place right now where I'm avoiding rice a little bit, not because rice isn't good for you, but I am trying to see for myself. I think maybe I love rice, first of all. So I think some of it was that I love rice so much, I eat a lot of it. And so right now I'm experimenting to see, is rice an issue digestively for me? Do I eat too much of it, or am I really like okay without it? So we're experimenting some more. I'm just always kind of trying different things, and it helped me to be more in tune with my body, not what this person's train of thought nutritional is, or this person's, but how is my body responding to things? So I think that was another thing that was great with this experiment. As far as weight, I did talk about how I did release some weight. I released about 7 pounds. So starting point, I was around 158, 159. And the lowest weight I got to was 152, which was like, wow, very, very interesting. I wasn't necessarily sure if I would release any weight or not, but I did. Interestingly enough, though, my measurements did not change. My measurements stayed the same. My waist was at 27 inches in the beginning, and at the end of it, it was still 27 inches. Same with my hips. My hips were 41 and a half. They ended up being the same. So it does make me think that perhaps the weight that was released was either water retention or inflammation, or a combination of both. And those do take up space in our body. So I was really happy about that. Other things that I noticed is, honestly, I just felt more at ease. So I slept a lot better, and also I feel like I had more focus, like just more focused. And some of that could be because I was like ingredient prepping and things, so my energy just didn't feel as scattered as far as like, oh, what am I gonna make? What am I gonna eat? Because I already knew there were things in the refrigerator there. So some of that I could say may or may not have been the actual diet, and could have been more, I was putting in more beneficial systems and processes for myself in order to make sure that I was eating things for me, for my blood type. So it could be that. But all in all, I decided to actually continue it. So the foods that it is recommended to avoid, I will do my best to avoid them, but I'm not gonna like never eat them ever again, right? I think just in my day-to-day eating, I won't eat those foods. But listen, I love me some guacamole. I really love avocados. So if I'm out at a restaurant with friends, and let's say we're at a Mexican restaurant and there's guacamole on the table, I'm going to eat some. I'm just probably not going to make it a whole lot at home. So I think it also just showed me too that, I mean, life is for living. You have to live. And I don't think that the diet recommendations were ever meant to be restrictive and tell people that they can't have, they can't eat certain foods because foods are good or bad. And I think that's one thing that I did appreciate about the book and the diet. It wasn't about villainizing food. It was literally just saying some blood types are better at digesting certain things than others. Some blood types need different things. They need different nutrients from different foods, and others don't. And so I don't want to villainize food. I don't want to develop a complex or unhealthy relationship with food. So it's not that I will never eat guacamole ever again. It's just when I'm at home, I probably won't make it most of the time. But all in all, I'm glad I did the experiment. I think it really did help. I definitely did notice a decrease in inflammation in my face and a weird places in my arms. Sometimes I will feel. And then my ankles. That's usually where I retain water. So I didn't worry or even really think about inflammation the whole time that I was doing the experiment because I was avoiding foods that would inflame me. So that felt really nice. It felt really good to not think about it or worry about it. And yeah, so all in all, I'm glad I did the experiment. I think it was super helpful and very illuminating. And I'm going to continue the journey in my own way for the most part, doing the diet, to maybe like 80 to 90%. But there's times that I'm going to go out to eat with friends, family, what have you, and I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat. Sometimes I may try to avoid things, other times I may not, So the journey continues, but I'm really thankful for it. I think it definitely helped me out a lot. I learned some new things, and I learned new things about myself. So that is how I felt doing this 6-week experiment of eating for my blood type. For me, it was helpful, and I think there may be something to it. So on that note, stay flourishing, and until the next journey that I take you on with me,